Hey guys, welcome back to Rooted Homeschool. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Christina, if you're new here. I'm a homeschool mom of 5, ages 1 through 13. I'm super excited about today's video because today I'm talking to you guys about my spring and end of year curriculum picks. One reason that I'm really excited about sharing is I love spring. Like everything's growing, blooming. The weather is getting nicer. I'm in New York, so the shift from winter to spring really is a big deal for us anyway. I'm also really excited to share with you because I have such a wide range of learners at home. I get to share things for younger kids all the way up to middle schooler. So if you look around our playroom, this is not technically like our homeschool room. We homeschool wherever we feel like homeschooling on any given day. But if you look around, you'll notice that I have activities for a 1-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 13-year-old. I have books all the way from board books up to young adult texts in this room. So curriculum is a lot of fun for me to put together, but also I have to consider a wide range of ages and learners. So there should be something in here for almost everyone. So if you're interested in what we are studying for the spring and end of year, stay tuned. Now you may have your curriculum chosen already for spring and for the end of the year, and that's totally fine. You may decide there's something that you want to include next year, in the fall, in the winter, in the spring, and just hear about something new today. So first I just want to say there's a few things that will be continuing throughout the end of the year and even into next year. So if you saw one of my last videos about the O Freedom, a conscious U.S. history curriculum, we will be continuing that throughout the end of the year and even into next year. So if you didn't check out that video and you want to hear about a really great U.S. history curriculum, go check out that video. I'll link it in the description box. If you've been following me over on Instagram, or if you saw another one of my recent videos about my homeschool day in the life video about nature study and pond study, you'll know that we just recently started including exploring nature with children into our homeschool curriculum, and we are loving it so far. So really quick note about exploring nature with children, because that is one of the curriculums that we will be continuing throughout the end of the year and into next year, and even a little bit in the summer, even though we don't plan on strictly doing much curriculum in the summer. But Exploring Nature with Children is a year-long curriculum that includes a different nature topic for every week of the year. So it's really, really cool. It includes science, art, poetry, there's a little bit of math, there's a little bit of everything sprinkled in there on any given week. Some of the things will be similar on any given week, and then every once in a while there'll be something totally brand new. We have been loving it, so we will be continuing that. Also, if you're watching this video before Saturday, March 27th, 2021, you can still get 20% off this year-long curriculum using code ROOTED20. There's a link in the description box below. Now that we've talked about the stuff that will be continuing, I'm going to talk to you about the stuff that will be brand new for us for the spring. I am going to start first with the curriculum that is focused on mostly my 5-year-old. Now, if you watched our curriculum review on Gather Round, Ready to Read Book 1, Burrows and Holes, this is a follow-up to the Ready to Read Book 1, Burrows and Holes. So my 5-year-old is currently finishing up Ready to Read 1, Burrows and Holes, and is ready to move on to Ready to Read 2, and I'm so excited about the theme for it. It's At the Pond. If you did not see the video for Ready to Read 1, go check it out. I'll put the link in the description box, especially if you have a child who is learning to read or will be learning to read at any point in the future. I love this program. She's my 3rd child that will be learning to read, so I have experience with this. I'm also an English teacher. I'm also a literacy specialist. I love this program. Ready to Read 2 at the Pond is so beautiful. It talks about ecosystems. Every Ready to Read lesson has a focus topic. For example, randomly in lesson 15, newts are neat, and it focuses on newts. And then there are discussion questions just to kind of check in with them and make sure that they understood the concepts discussed. And then there's also a Bible connection. So really, really loving this. Super pumped about At the Pond because, again, if you did see our Exploring Nature with Children homeschool day in the life, you'll know that we were studying the pond because it was Pond Week, and that was just a couple of weeks ago. So this will kind of be a follow-up. That's almost like an intro to the pond, and this will be like an in-depth study of the pond, but also continuing sight words and learning to read. And for pre-readers in the Ready to Read program, it does include math. So in the other Gather Round units for older kids, the only core subject that it does not include is math. So that is At the Pond. The next curriculum that we're working in for the spring, I'm also really excited about for a couple of reasons. If you've never used Campfire curriculums, neither have I. And I'm so excited because I've been wanting to try Campfire curriculums for like 6 months. I came across Campfire curriculums and saw their Through the Eyes of series, like Through the Eyes of an ER doctor, Through the Eyes of a judge, and it's all about like different careers that you can go into. And I thought, like, how amazing is this? Like real life applicable career paths. This is a no-brainer. Like, why doesn't everyone do this? So I had been waiting to try it. I had it on my list of things to try this year. And then I watched Jamie over at Simply Living It, watched her video about this square foot gardening, which I did not even know they came out with. And I was so excited because I've been wanting to garden and do better at it as a family. And it was one of our goals anyway for the spring, summer this year, for my husband to build us at least one raised bed, maybe more. And I could not be more excited to both try Campfire curriculums. It is a unit study model. It is a family style model, similar to Gather Round in that there is a book for every level, but you're all learning together family style, which is what I love so much about Gather Round. This looks so beautiful. It includes nature journal pages. It includes faith talks. It includes core extensions, so ways for you to extend the learning into core subjects. And this teaches you how to garden. And I'm so excited. Like, I'm excited to learn this with my children. I know they'll be excited. I'm going to do botany by Gather Round, and then I saw this one and I was like, this might be even better for us right now. I 100% will do botany in the future, and I even consider doing them together, but I'm gonna share with you the next curriculum that we're doing for spring, which we've all been waiting for, specifically my 4th grader, my 9-year-old Jackson, who loves art. He has been waiting for this curriculum since before it was actually released, and that is artists. This unit study looks so cool. This does not just focus on what you would typically think when you think of artists, okay? This curriculum, this unit study, if you look at the table of contents, covers painters, dancers, poets, cartoonists, composers, the art of dessert, so culinary art, the short story, sculptors, actors, playwrights, screenwriters, photographers, architects, singers, novelists, graphic designers, ceramic artists, pencil artists, interior designers, and the great design. So we are all super excited. I ordered a bunch of books from the book list for like the first 6 to 8 lessons. That's usually how I do it. And I ordered a bunch of books, a bunch of beautiful pond books, which I'll show in another video, and I always show more of that stuff over on my Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, make sure you do that at rooted_homeschool so that I can show you all the connections and the everyday stuff that we do. Super pumped about artists. Again, family style, everyone's doing it. My 5, my 9, and my 13-year-old. For my 1-year-old, obviously she doesn't do any of this. She plays, or she naps, or she eats. My 2-year-old, I'll print out some of like the coloring pages that come in the pre-reader version. And if he feels like doing it, I have something to give him. I always make a binder for him. And if he wants to jump in and out, he can. I'll also be doing like some sensory bins, and we'll be doing a lot of art with artists. So there'll be a lot of opportunities for him to jump in and out of. This last curriculum that I'm sharing with you was a last minute inclusion. If I would have done this video a week ago, like I had planned, this one would not be included. So if you have not read The Brave Learner and you do not know about the Brave Writer curriculum, you need to read that book, and you need to do the 7-day writing blitz from The Brave Writer. It's a free download. Definitely check it out if you haven't done it. We did the Brave Writer 7-day writing blitz. It's like a 7-day writing challenge. It's super fun and engaging. It is not really like intensive writing. It's just to get your kids excited about writing. So I've always been curious, even before that, but definitely after that, about the other curriculums that are offered through the Brave Writer. And I saw on Instagram this curriculum, Boomerang curriculum, which focuses on mechanics of writing and literature. And this is the companion to the book They Called Us Enemy. I saw Julie from Brave Writer show this on her Instagram as a response to the hate crimes against Asian Americans. And I thought, like, I could not pass up this opportunity to read this book, to try the Brave Writer curriculum, which I wanted to do, and amplify Asian voices in our home. It also seemed super fitting because we've been reading about the Holocaust. We also, in O Freedom, have been reading about Native American genocide during the colonization of America by the Europeans. And there are some heavy topics. However, my 2 boys have been really interested in learning about it. We haven't done together a study of a graphic novel, and this is a graphic memoir about the Japanese internment camps. So American concentration camps. There are so many connections. One thing that I love about homeschool is that there's so many connections, like I said, between what we were studying with the Holocaust and with the genocide of Native Americans at the hands of Europeans. And also the fact that in artists, it will cover like cartoonists and graphic novelists. And this takes a look at studying that as an art form, as a piece of literature, as well as taking a look at the memoir and the experience of George in They Called Us Enemy. So Boomerang is specifically for ages 13 to 14. And so I have a 13-year-old, so I figured this was a really great opportunity to include something that is targeted specifically for him, but I will still include my 9-year-old in on this. Now, this is the one thing in this group of curriculum that I will not be doing with my younger children. The content is too much, it's too heavy. And even for my 9-year-old, it's a little bit of a stretch for him. However, I know that he can handle it, and things that are too hard, we just will skip over, and it's no stress. So although I do really focus on a family style learning in my homeschool, there are certain things that are focused for a particular kid, and then I just pull one or more kids into it. For example, the Ready to Read Burrows and Holes unit was for Gia. It's for a pre-reader. It's for my 5-year-old. However, my older boys are always in on those lessons, and they always learn stuff. I always learn stuff. So they learn like the science piece about like different animals and different parts of nature. And we'll do the same thing with At the Pond. And then artists, although everyone in the family is excited about it, it was really like for Jackson that I chose that curriculum because he's an artist and he loves art. It's his passion. And then square foot gardening is really because I'm really interested in it, and it's something that I want us to do as a family. And then this one is specifically focused for my 13-year-old. So that just kind of shows you how everything that I chose had one of them in mind specifically, but then there's a way to bring everyone together in some way with it. It's similar to when we do O Freedom, because I don't include my 5-year-old in on O Freedom either, because the content is too intense for her. So it'll either be like when she's napping, or when I have her working on something else, or when she's just playing, we'll do O Freedom. And so we'll do the same thing with They Called Us Enemy when we study this. So you may be thinking, oh my goodness, like, why are you doing so many different units? And I'll tell you why. We don't do the same thing every day. Sometimes kind of get a plan for the week, and it could change that day. It could change the night before, and I decide, you know what? Tomorrow, we're gonna just focus really heavily on our Gather Round unit study, or we're gonna focus really heavy on O Freedom, and we're just gonna do a lot of reading in the books for O Freedom. And I plan to do the same thing in the spring and summer and just make it our own. So I may end up doing it where one day a week, one of these is our focus, and everything else we do a little bit of. Or I might do it where 2 of the things are our focus, and we don't even do the other ones that particular day. So we really don't follow a strict schedule in terms of like how we incorporate the units in, but I always have like a minimum requirement of doing it once or twice a week, so that so much time doesn't pass that like you lose interest or you forget what's happening. So that's the way we've been doing that. We will be finished by the time we start these. We will be finished or almost finished with our Foundations and Personal Finance unit. So that's one curriculum that will kind of be off of the table, out of rotation, to kind of make room for the new things that we're doing. So for the winter, we were doing space, we were doing O Freedom, we were doing Ready to Read, Burrows and Holes, and we were doing Foundations and Personal Finance. So we had 4 curriculums that we were doing, other than their math and their reading and just like other activities and fun stuff we wanted to include. And then we just recently started working in Exploring Nature with Children. So space is over, Burrows and Holes is just about over, Foundations and Personal Finance is just about over. We're keeping O Freedom and we're keeping Exploring Nature with Children, and we're working in Square Foot Gardening, They Called Us Enemy, Artists, and Ready to Read 2 at the Pond. So if you are interested in how we work those things in, like I said, follow us over on Instagram if you're not already following us. Put in the comments what you would like to see. Would you like to see a homeschool day in the life where we work in more than one curriculum? Would you like to see a specific lesson from one of these curriculums? Would you like to see a homeschool week in the life where you see how we kind of weave in and out of these day to day? Do you want to see flip throughs of these different curriculums? Let me know. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Click the notifications button so you always know right away when a new video comes out. Check out our Amazon store for a lot of our favorites. A lot of the books that we're using are included on our Amazon store. We hope to see you soon in our next video, and until next time, stay rooted.